Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Autumn, the Crafted Gemini, and in this video we'll be achieving this makeup look that you see right here. If you're interested in how I achieve this look, just keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and don't forget to leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you guys, and follow me on my social media. I have that information in the description box below. So let's get to it. Hey guys, welcome back. So happy to see y'all. Let's get right into this. I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in my brows. This is nothing new. If you've seen my other videos, I'm going to just shape them up and then I'm going to set them with some Juvia's Place setting powder. I can't remember the shade, but I'll leave that down below. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and with my Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in Chocolate and fill in my brows. All right, and now that my brows are done, I'm going to be using the Juvia's Place concealer in the shade 24, and I'm just going to apply that all over my lids. I wanted to make sure that the eyeshadow I use popped, so that's why I use the whitest shade of concealer. I will say for future reference, I probably would use something darker, closer to my eyebrows, because I had to use eyeshadow to kind of cover that up, and you'll see that in a bit. And now I'm just setting it with some Laura Mercier setting powder just to keep it all in place. And now I'm using the Dare to Create palette and just adding some brown at the top so I can get rid of the white that's close to my brows. I will say though, I probably would also recommend doing your brows last, just because I did have to go back in later and fill back in my brows after applying this brown eyeshadow into the my top lid. All right, and now that that's done, I'm going into the Pinky Rose Bright Lights palette. And I'm starting off with the shade Becky. You guys, this palette is so pigmented. I can't wait until I can buy every palette that Pinky Rose has come out with because they are crazy pigmented. I probably didn't even need to use that light of a concealer. It probably would have just showed up on my normal concealer. And as you can see now, I'm going in with my next shade right above, and it's still from the Pinky Rose Bright Lights palette. It's the shade Dreamsicle. It's more of a coral shade that I'm adding above Becky. And I'm just going to keep rotating between the two colors until I get a nice even blend. All right, and next I'm going to go ahead and start with cutting my crease using that same Juvia's Place shade 24. And then I'm just packing it in. It is very important that when you cut your crease to pack the concealer in so that there's no creasing whatsoever. And now I'm going to go in with the Try by Juvia's and use the green shade Maasai. It's a super pretty lime green shade. And now I'm just going to go back in really quick with the shade Becky and bring that down to the bottom part of my lid just to make sure I don't run out of room and don't have enough space to add in that. So I do my inner corner first, then my outer corner, and work on the middle. And now I'm going to go in with the shade Punky, still from the Bright Lights palette by Pinky Rose. It's a really pretty teal shade. And I'm just adding that on. And I'm rotating between two different brushes just because it is a small area that I'm working on. So I just had to grab the smallest brushes I had. And now I'm just blending Maasai and Punky together to get a nice blend. I'm just rotating between adding a little bit of that color, a little bit of this color until it's like blended in the middle. So you just have to take your time and just blend away. Right, and now just in the very, very outer corner, I'm not even using a lot of this color. It's still from the Bright Lights palette. It's the shade Boom. It's actually a shimmery, deep bluish purple that I'm using. And just a little bit, as you can see. And then I'm just touching up the pink above. And next, I'm going to be using a glitter. This is from the Stilla. It's the Aurora Light. It's a case of about 5 or 6 different shades. I'm using the shade Pointed Lady. And I'm just packing that where the two first shades meet. And just gives it just an added pop. So I'm just tapping that on. Not swiping, but just tapping it on with the flat brush. And now I'm just doing my wing liner. I'm just using the NYX Liquid Suede liner to line my eyes. And then I'm also going to be bringing that liner down into my tear duct to kind of give it more of like a cat eye. I totally suck at this, but I want to keep practicing until I get really good. But I think I'm going to have to use like a different brush to apply it near my tear ducts because it was so hard to do it with that long skinny brush that you get with the NYX eyeliner. I messed up a lot. And now I'm just adding my lashes. I do not know which lashes these are because I never put them back in their proper case. I believe I got these off of Amazon. And I just usually always just type in mink lashes. So I'm sorry, I can't tell you which lash they are. But now that my lashes are on, I'm just adding some mascara. This is the Covergirl. I think it's the Tease mascara. And really, I'm just adding this to get the eyeshadow off of my natural lashes. You can see the color that fell down below. And then now I'm just adding some eyeliner to my lower lash line. I don't even know what this is, who this is by because I've had this eyeliner for years. Right, and now I'm going to the Warrior 2 by Juvia's palette. They are also super pigmented palettes, all the Juvia's ones. And I'm using the blackish shade Shawata, if I'm saying that correctly. And I'm just going over the eyeliner that I put to give it more of a smokier effect. And now I'm adding that same pink shade from above down below, just giving an extra pop to the look. So I did the black liner with the black eyeshadow, and now I'm doing the pink Becky eyeshadow and bringing that right below it. I totally forgot to put mascara on my bottom lashes, but it is what it is. All right, and now that my eyes are completely finished, we're gonna go on to foundation. And I'm going to first use the Cover FX Blurring Primer in all the places I feel like I have large pores. And then I'm going to use the Milk Primer on the outer perimeter of my face. And just pat that all in. And then I'm going to take a damp beauty blender and dip it into my Fenty loose setting powder in the shade Hazelnut and just cover my entire face. This is a must when I do my makeup. For those who always ask, how does my makeup stay in place all throughout the night, even when I go to the club? This is probably the reason why, because of this step right here. And now I'm just applying some concealer above my brows. I'm using the Born This Way Sculpting Concealer in the shade Chestnut. All right, and now I'm just gonna blend that out. And next I'm gonna go into my foundation. I'm using the NYX Born to Glow Naturally Radiant Foundation in the shade Mocha, as well as the Born This Way foundation in the shade Chai. I love mixing foundations, and this is kind of my winter mix. And now I'm just gonna spray some setting spray before I blend in my foundation. This is the Evian facial spray. I got this from TJ Maxx. I am absolutely in love. It is so big. It's gonna last so much longer than the Morphe one, and it's way cheaper than the MAC one. So this is a staple in my opinion. And I'm just using a e.l.f. brush to blend that all out. And I make sure to bring it down my neck and by my ears, especially since my hair is short. Or if you have your hair pulled back in a ponytail one day, you do want to make sure you get back there. And then once that dries down a little bit, I go back in with that same damp beauty blender and just blend in everything. Make sure to get any excess product off of my skin, and then just make sure everything is just smooth as smooth can be. It almost gives like an airbrush effect when you go in with this step. So I highly recommend doing that as well. But again, you have to let your foundation dry down a little bit, or you're just going to take off all your foundation. And if I didn't mention it, the Beauty Blender is damp. Right, on to concealer. I'm going to use 2 concealers today. I use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in Tan Deep Sand for my inner corner. And then for my outer corner, I use that same Born This Way concealer in Chestnut. Depending on my mood, I sometimes will apply the Born This Way all to the areas that need concealing, blend that out completely, and then go back in with the Tarte Shape Tape and lighten it up even more. Or I'll do like I did now, where I'll just place one in one spot and one in the other. Just depends on my mood. But I did let this dry down some too. I think I waited about 3 minutes. So that way the product can thicken up a little bit, or else it'll just move all over the place and it won't really conceal as it should. And then anywhere I conceal, I go around the perimeter of that concealed area with either my Beauty Blender or my brush that I applied my foundation with to make sure it's all blended together. It is so important to blend everything together. And I leave my inner corners for last. And so sorry that there isn't really a close-up on this. I'm using my phone versus my camera, and I need to also practice on angling my phone in a better position, because right now I'm just looking down the entire time and you can't really see all that I'm doing. But once I have that all blended out and together, and then I do my nose very last, and I only put the lighter shade concealer on my nose, I'm going to go in and set everything. So I'm using that translucent setting powder by Laura Mercier. This product is super expensive, but well worth it. It is probably the one and only product I will spend that much money on every time. It just, there's nothing that compares. And now to contour. I don't really contour that much. I use this shade by Bare Minerals. It's the shade Mocha 31. It just warms up my skin, but I don't really ever go in with a true dark shade to contour my skin. I just go in with this, and it could actually be used alone as like a blush, but as you'll see in a minute, I am going to go in with blush over top of this. But again, it just warms up my face. So now for the blush, I'm using the Saharan Blush Volume 1 palette by Juvia's Place, and it is in the color Toby. It is an orange color. It is so pretty. I've never really even used any of the other darker shades. That's more for the fall, but I love Toby, so I use that. And now I'm just going in with my Fit Me powder in the shade 355 to go over my entire face. And it also helps to get rid of that white shadow that you get from your setting powder to go over it with your foundation, if that makes sense. And then I'm just going back in with that same Bare Minerals shade Mocha 31 to contour out my nose. And I like to bring that up into my brows. And now I'm just going to go ahead back in with that same setting spray, and I'm just going to spray my entire face and then fan it out. And do it all over again. I like to do it twice, and then obviously since we're in quarantine still, I'm not going anywhere, but if I was, I'd go back in a third time, but this time with the all-nighter setting spray. And lastly, we're going to highlight. I don't even really highlight anymore, but I just felt like highlighting today. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder in the shade Awesome Blossom. It's a bronzy shade. Okay, yes, very nice, very nice. All right. Last thing is the lips. So I'm using 3 shades for the lips. The first thing to line my lips, I'm using the NYX Liquid Suede Cream Lipstick in the shade Club Hopper to line my lips. It comes out a little runny, so I did have to kind of layer it up a bit when I applied this. And then I'm going to go in with the NYX Lingerie shade and Satin Ribbon. I'm just going to use my finger to just blend that all together. I could have stopped here, but I'm in love with glossy lips lately. So the last thing I'm going to use is the Milani Ludicrous, if that's how you're supposed to say it, lip gloss in the shade Hella Fresh. This is my favorite. I used to use the Strawberry Parfait by NYX until they stopped selling it in the stores because they got all their new butter glosses and nothing compares. So now I found it in the Milani. All right, guys, well, this is the final look. It came out so freaking pretty and so perfect for the summertime and springtime to just have nice, vibrant eyeshadow just popping. Again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if you tried to do a similar look like this. And don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Until next time, bye, guys.